Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to In the Springs. I'm your host, Ryan Lowry, coming to you from the legendary Loonees Comedy Corner right here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. My guest this evening is a tremendous stand-up comedian, musician, and actor out of Denver, Colorado. The lovely and talented Mr. Ben Roy is
Up
here.
top, banging out. Let's do it. Hey, how are you?
Man, thanks
Which
so
one
much.
am I looking at?
Anyone you want.
Okay,
I'm all over
cool.
the
I'm
place.
going to hit everything.
And if you decide you've got something extreme you need to say, you can.
And say it in there?
Yeah,
It's
you know,
stream?
do the full.
Awesome.
That's what
Like
the
if
kids.
I want to chug a Mountain Dew or something like
that's
that?
What the,
Awesome.
That's what the kids do nowadays. So how
That's
you doing,
cool.
man?
Is it on right now?
Yeah, I think
Which
it
way
might
does
be
it
upside
point?
down though. Is that?
Oh, well, that's even better. That's pretty extreme. No. There we go.
Yeah, you can tell how hip I am. I don't
Yeah.
understand any of
No,
this
I'm going to just touch everything on your table.
So how you-
I'm doing good, man. My
Excellent.
voice is a little sore, so I'm sorry if I'm hoarse.
From singing?
From the shows, yeah, singing, and then I injured my voice a little while ago, so it's never really fully healed.
How do you injure your voice?
I got put in a guillotine choke at jiu-jitsu, and I didn't tap. Yeah, I didn't tap quick enough, and I had to have a laryngoscopy. Like they put the tube down my nose into my throat and
Holy
stuff. Like,
shit.
yeah, it was pretty bad. But so now it's never like fully healed. It just gets tired easily.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
This is like 3 shows in a row, and I had band practice earlier on Wednesday of this week, so this voice is just
How
beat up.
long have you been doing the jiu-jitsu?
I started taking Japanese jiu-jitsu, which I've been taking since 2004, but like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and like submission wrestling type stuff, I probably like 2 years or so, not that long in that.
Yeah.
But I've taken jiu-jitsu Japanese style, which looks more like judo. I've taken that for, since 2004 on and on.
So I've been looking at following you online, and your schedule is insane.
Yeah.
So and then jiu-jitsu, when do you sleep? What?
Oh, I sleep once a night, as most people do. No, I sleep.
It wasn't being literal,
No, I
You're a busy
probably
guy.
sleep. I don't know, 6.5, 7 hours sleep. I get to bed usually around midnight or 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then I've got to be up at 7 to get the kiddo to school. So, and then my day, I get up and get him to school, and then 8 o'clock I come back and eat breakfast and check my email and respond to Facebook and post on stuff, and then go to jiu-jitsu for a couple hours, come home, write whatever we're working on, pick the kiddo up from school, work a little more till 5, then dinner and hang out with them.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy, but I'm definitely an idle hands type person. If I'm not like super busy, I'll start to pick at myself.
Right.
Like I'll just be, what was that? What's my heart doing there? That's what I do.
I was like, what?
Look at how real it got.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I do by myself. Everybody gets super uncomfortable when I haven't had things to do, because I just get very anxious. With the jiu-jitsu and the band and everything else
Nice.
for comedy and stuff.
I've got a bunch of stuff that I wanted to
Okay,
add,
sure.
but I did have one quick bone to pick.
Okay, bone.
Like 4 or 5 years ago, we were at a showcase show up at Comedy Works. I think it was for the Las Vegas Comedy Festival or something like that.
Okay.
And we all got to do 4 minutes or whatever it was, and we had to draw numbers, and I had to follow you.
Okay.
You went out and just fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
And I went out and ate shit for 4 minutes, so I just wanted to thank you for that. So that's why I called you here today. So
This is just
Good
gonna
night,
be,
everybody.
take it easy.
Yeah.
And you walk off and leave me here alone. Yeah, I apologize. If it makes you feel better, I've eaten shit plenty after
my
you.
point is you're a tough guy to follow, man.
Yeah, but you used to like do the same thing. You weren't easy to follow either. And I think the difference is you and I have such different energies on stage where
Yeah, for sure.
we could not be more polar opposites
Yeah.
on the bell curve, where you're very like slow and calculated with your delivery, and
Yeah.
I tend to just, I don't know, be like.
Well, you definitely have like with the music that you do, and then the style of comedy that you're doing. It sounds kind of cliched or whatever, but it's all very punk rock.
Yeah.
To me, anyway. And I feel like I'm an old guy when I say stuff like that. But
No, I'll
the
take it.
sensibility of what you're doing is.
Yeah, because like whenever people would talk about they like when I played in the band, people would be like, "Oh man, it's so weird to see you out of your element," And when I'm
But you've
not
been
doing
doing that.
comedy. Yeah, but the band
Well
has been,
before.
like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was an afterthought of doing stand-up. Just a randomness of my wife picking a job at a comedy club, that was it.
Yeah.
I,
Because you started kind of late relative to.
yeah, oh yeah, no, I
Like in
didn't
your
start
late
until I
20s?
was 24.
Yeah, oh, okay, 24.
But I took a year off because, to drink. So I took some time off to really focus on drinking and playing in a band. I was playing in the 29th Street Disciples.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wanted to do that more, and we went down to Texas and played South by Southwest, and
Nice.
we did a lot of stuff, but it just, or we played at South by Southwest at another smaller festival that mixes in with it, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to do that.
Well, and that kind of dovetails in, one of the things that, you know, you guys are getting a ton of press on is the Grawlix.
Yeah.
The project you guys have up in Denver along with Adam Caton Holland and Andrew Orbital.
Right.
And you did South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Okay, so, because I kind of went back through your calendar just to see what you've been up to, and that is one of the premier, I think, events, even though it may feel like it's not quite as underground or unknown as it may have once been.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what was that experience
Oh,
like?
that was super awesome.
And then what is the Grawlix? I know what it is, but I mean, for folks who are watching this.
The Grawlix is just a comedy collective of myself and those two other comics you mentioned, Adam Caton Holland and Andrew Orbital. And we just started a monthly show at some art galleries, and that's all we did. And it was just, at the time when we started it, it was called Wrist Deep Productions.
right. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I didn't start it, it was Greg Baumhauer and
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
Kronberg. And then we just kind of, it slowly split off, me and Andrew and Adam. And it was just a way to get more stage time.
Yeah.
And then with the Grawlix, we decided that we wanted a show that people would come back to regularly, so we stopped repeating material. So it became the rule of the Grawlix is you can't repeat material on the show.
Yeah.
And then we needed we wanted a video to show every month. So we decided to come up with a behind-the-scenes exploits of those characters, and that's what
Which
the web
is
series.
fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
That whole web series with the Nix brothers and.
Yeah, because Jim Hickox had done a number of our videos at the
Right.
time, but he was also at the time in the Grawlix and trying to write at the same time. So he suggested that we find somebody else to produce them, and we agreed that it would give him more free time, and we wanted to really up the production value if it's somebody who just focuses on that. And so then we found the Nix Bros. They had done that thing, Rainbow Chasers. Oh man, you have to see it.
Okay.
It's like Storm Chasers, but they chase rainbows, and it's super hilarious.
Yeah.
And it was this cool proof of concept of a show that the Nix brothers had done, and it looked so good. And so we contacted them, and it was just a good relationship. We had a regular crowd to showcase them, and they showcase themselves through this web series and all the one-off videos we've done. And we only did 4 or so episodes before we were approached about doing the pilot and everything
Gotcha.
like that, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, when I was talking to Lauren here at Loonees, I think one of the things that I admire about, you and then the group of guys that you're working with is kind of that DIY work ethic. And right now, you've got so many irons in the fire. You've got the band spells that you're working with.
Yeah.
I saw that you were on Adam
Adam
Devine's
Yep.
house party doing the acting. The pilot you guys did for Amazon, and to me, that is sort of a template for young comedians, folks who are looking to get into comedy. You have to hustle.
Yeah, oh yeah,
That's
for sure.
been, I think, kind of a recipe that you guys have proven works.
Yeah, I never wanted to be part of someone else's dream.
Right.
That was my thing, is everybody, every show on TV was somebody else's idea or their goal of going somewhere or to maintain themselves, and I just wanted to be part of something that I helped create. And I think also part of it was out of necessity. I was going to move to New York at one point, but my wife has a business. She's a photographer, and so it made it. I don't know at the time that it was the right time for us to go. I don't think that that's what she wanted. I don't think she wanted to abandon her business. I also think she knew that I was going to be on the road a lot, and I don't think that she wanted to be in New York. So it was like, well, if you're just going to be on the road, why don't we stay here? And so we stayed, and Andrew had his daughter and a family there, and Adam owns a house, and it was like, don't you know, don't tell me that we can't do it from here. I mean, with broadband internet and everything.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, so,
And I think that idea of Los Angeles, New York City is where you have to be. I think that's been proven, that's not true.
right,
Like you said,
it's antiquated to a certain extent.
yeah, I mean, look at the exposure you're getting here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, this,
Keep it down, everybody, please.
what's that? All the tap water I can drink.
That's fine.
All the tap water. Oh, the background? That's custom. That's custom. Budweiser, I brought it.
But again, you know, I mean, I know this is, you know, I consider the Colorado Springs market, you know, certainly a smaller market from an entertainment standpoint. And as a native of the Springs, I see that it does have a pretty robust arts community with music and entertainment. I know there's 3 or 4 different open mic opportunities here locally.
Yeah.
But the idea of actually getting exposure is as soon as you've got it recorded and you put it on the internet, that exposure is kind of limitless, you know, potentially anyway, where you can start getting some.
Yeah.
I know a term you guys use a lot in the Grolix is heat.
Yeah,
You know, when you start getting the heat.
buzz. We use it very
Literally.
condescending.
Right.
And in a shitty, cynical manner, because it's the worst fucking thing to ever say to you. He's got the heat, a lot of heat on him, which means that people who can't do anything for you are talking about you, which is all heat is. Coming down here, I've always liked coming down here, and I've always liked coming down to the Springs because there's always been funny people here.
Yeah.
And I like the club. I will always
was that
come.
sarcasm?
No,
Okay.
yeah, I think you're very funny, dude, and I think I understand why you took a break and why you're, you know, like you stepped out for a little while, but we were all bummed.
Like, and it really goes back to what you were saying with your schedule. And the amount of work that it takes to get to where you've gotten in terms of the levels of success and opportunities that you've had. I just couldn't manage that for me personally. I was too scared.
Yeah.
I needed that day job security, and it got to the point where driving up to Keystone to do a one-nighter was like, I just can't. I can't get away from home, you know?
Well, and with kids and everything, that's super tough. And I think like, for me, I struggle with that. I mean, I've told my wife on several occasions that I should just quit this.
Yeah.
You know, like if I really did what I wanted to do, I would just find a job that I'm somewhat okay with, that I feel like isn't making too much doing too much damage.
No.
You know what I mean? No, but I'm just saying, me personally, and I would just take jujitsu.
Right.
That's all I do. I would just train in jujitsu, and I would play in a band on the side here and there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress that comes with comedy once you make it a career and you have to survive off it.
Oh,
but the
yeah.
highs of it are so fun, and I can't not perform. I love performing. I love, whether it's in music or acting or comedy. Being on stage or being in front of a camera makes me really happy. It's always made me happy since I was a kid. So, but like coming down here is great. I love this club. I will always be sentimental, and I shouldn't say, I'm glad they're not in here.
We'll edit this out. Yeah,
Three clubs. The Comedy Works in Denver. Loonees, because they were one of the first people to headline me.
Nice.
And then their nemesis Laughs in Tucson. And like those 3 clubs, like took a chance when people were like, you're too loud, or you swear it's too dark or whatever, and gave me a chance. And this room has been, I mean, I love these guys, you know, like, and coming down here is always a fun thing for me. Just, there's nights I've had piss poor sets and they're like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because I usually, like the crowds here are usually really good, you know. They're not, I think people think they're going to be conservative, but I think that a lot of the people that other people outside of here are worried about showing up don't come to comedy shows.
Right. And I do think the Springs has, a label that might not be accurate. We are conservative because I think a lot of the press from a state standpoint or a national standpoint is focused on the family and, all of that kind of stuff. And that certainly is a component of this town, but I think for me personally, I do think it's a fairly liberal town, and